Brought to you by WikiVidi.com. Seth MacFarlane. Seth Woodbury MacFarlane is an American actor, comedian, filmmaker and singer, working primarily in animation and comedy, as well as live action and other genres. MacFarlane is the creator of the TV series Family Guy, and co-creator of the TV series American Dad, and The Cleveland Show. He also wrote, directed, and starred in the films Ted, its sequel Ted 2, and A Million Ways to Die in the West. MacFarlane is a graduate of the Rhode Island School of Design, where he studied animation. Recruited to Hollywood, he was an animator and writer for Hanna-Barbera for several television series, including Johnny Bravo, Cow and Chicken, Dexter's Laboratory, I Am Weasel, and Larry and Steve. As an actor, he has made guest appearances on series such as Gilmore Girls, The War at Home and FlashForward. In 2008, he created his own YouTube series titled Seth MacFarlane's Cavalcade of Cartoon Comedy. He won several awards for his work on Family Guy, including 2 Primetime Emmy Awards and an Anni Award. In 2009, he won the Webby Award for Film and Video Person of the Year. He occasionally speaks at universities and colleges throughout the United States, and he is a supporter of gay rights. MacFarlane's first feature-length comedy film, Ted, features his voice acting and performance capture as the titular anthropomorphic teddy bear, and became the highest-grossing original R-rated comedy. As a singer, MacFarlane has performed at several venues, including Carnegie Hall and the Royal Albert Hall. MacFarlane has released 3 studio albums, in the same vein of his musical idol Frank Sinatra, beginning with Music is Better Than Words in 2011. He wrote the lyrics for the Academy Award-nominated song, Everybody Needs a Best Friend for Ted. MacFarlane served as executive producer of Cosmos, A Space-Time Odyssey, an update of the 1980s Carl Sagan-hosted Cosmos series, hosted by Neil deGrasse Tyson. MacFarlane was instrumental in providing funding for the series, as well as securing studio support for it from other entertainment executives. Early life and education. MacFarlane was born and raised in Kent, Connecticut. His parents, Ronald Milton MacFarlane and Ann Perry, were born in Newburyport, Massachusetts. His sister is voice actress Rachel Ann MacFarlane. He has roots in New England going back to the 1600s, and is a descendant of Mayflower passenger William Brewster. MacFarlane's parents met in 1970, when they both lived and worked in Boston, Massachusetts, and married later that year. The couple moved to Kent in 1972, where Anne began working in the admissions office at South Kent School. She later worked in the college guidance and admissions offices at the Kent School, a selective college preparatory school, where Ronald was a teacher. During his childhood, MacFarlane developed an interest in illustration, and began drawing cartoon characters Fred Flintstone and Woody Woodpecker as early as 2 years old. By the age of 5, MacFarlane knew that he would want to pursue a career in animation, and began by creating flipbooks after his parents found a book on the subject for him. 4 years later, aged 9, MacFarlane began publishing a weekly comic strip titled Walter Crouton for the Kent Good Times Dispatch, the local newspaper in Kent, Connecticut, which paid him $5 per week. In one anecdote from the time, MacFarlane said in an October 2011 interview that as a child he was always weirdly fascinated by the communion ceremony. He created a strip with a character kneeling at the altar taking communion and asking, "Can I have fries with that?" The paper printed it, and he got an angry letter from the local priest. It led to sort of a little mini controversy in the town. MacFarlane received his high school diploma in 1991 from the Kent School. While there, he continued experimenting with animation, and his parents gave him an 8mm camera. MacFarlane went on to study film, video and animation at the Rhode Island School of Design, where he earned a Bachelor of Fine Arts degree. As a student, he had originally intended to work for Disney, but changed his mind upon graduating. At RISD, MacFarlane created a series of independent films, eventually meeting future Family Guy cast member Mike Henry, whose brother Patrick was MacFarlane's classmate. During his time at RISD, MacFarlane performed stand-up comedy. In his senior year at RISD, MacFarlane created a thesis film titled The Life of Larry, which eventually would become the inspiration for Family Guy. MacFarlane's professor submitted his film to the animation studio Hanna-Barbera, where he was later hired. Hanna-Barbera years. MacFarlane was recruited during the Senior Film Festival by development executive Ellen Cockrell and President Fred Seibert. He went to work at Hanna-Barbera based on the writing content of The Life of Larry, rather than on cartooning ability. He was one of only a few people hired by the company solely based on writing talent. He worked as an animator and writer for Cartoon Network's cartoon series. He described the atmosphere at Hanna-Barbera as resembling an old-fashioned Hollywood structure, where you move from one show to another, or you jump from a writing job on one show to a storyboard job on another. MacFarlane worked on 4 television series during his tenure at the studio: Dexter's Laboratory, Cow and Chicken, I Am Weasel, and Johnny Bravo. Working as both a writer and storyboard artist, MacFarlane spent the most time on Johnny Bravo. He found it easier to develop his own style at Johnny Bravo through the show's process of scriptwriting, which Dexter's Laboratory, Cow and Chicken, and I Am Weasel did not use. As a part of the Johnny Bravo crew, MacFarlane met actors and voiceover artists such as Adam West and Jack Sheldon of Schoolhouse Rock fame. Meeting these individuals later became significant to the production and success of his Family Guy series. He also did freelance work for Walt Disney Television Animation, writing for Jungle Cubs, and for Nelvana, where he wrote for Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. Through strict observation of writing elements such as story progression, character stakes, and plot points, MacFarlane found the work for Disney was, from a writing standpoint, very valuable in preparation for his career. MacFarlane also created and wrote a short titled Zoomates for Frederator Studios' Oh Yeah! Cartoons on Nickelodeon. In 1996, MacFarlane created a sequel to The Life of Larry entitled Larry and Steve, which features a middle-aged character named Larry and an intellectual dog, Steve. The short was broadcast as one of Cartoon Network's world premiere toons. Executives at Fox saw both Larry shorts, and negotiations soon began for a primetime animated series. Thank you for watching. Brought to you by WikiVidi.com. Please like and subscribe below. Please like and subscribe below.